Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how you can be more assertive. So we're going to be talking about why it's an important skill, and it is a skill, the actual framework that's really easy for you to remember so you can actually do it, and the last but not least thing, how you can really embed and integrate this work into your everyday. So let's begin. So first of all, assertiveness is a skill that needs you to be controlled, calm, and confident. When you can be those three things, then it's going to be much more easier for you to be assertive. The issue comes when we are quite emotional, and when the emotions go up, kind of logic goes down, and we're not then speaking from our wise mind, which means that we're not really always bringing our best selves. We're bringing maybe our emotional selves that might need a little shadow work in order for us to really own and step into our power and come from a place of empowerment. And if you haven't seen the shadow work video I did a couple of weeks ago, then go check it out, because it will help you to uncover and release some of those things that might be triggering you on a day-to-day basis. Now, so why do we need to be assertive? Well, I always see assertiveness as positive aggression, and I don't see aggression as an issue. Most of the time, other people see aggression as an issue, and so, the social norm is to be calm. And so this is positive aggression. This is a way for you to still articulate your needs to others while also honouring what they need to. So it's a win-win scenario. Now, you might have seen me do a similar video to this before. If not, then great, this is a real treat, and if so, then this is just a great reminder for you to help you still stay in your zone of genius while being assertive. So now you know kind of why you want to do it. There's great things that you can get out of it in terms of that win-win scenario, better relationships, increasing your communication skills, and just moving your projects forward because you're able to collaborate with ease. What are the issues that come up that make us stop doing it? Well, there's quite a few. What if I don't do it right? What if I mess up the way I'm asking? What if the person doesn't receive what I'm asking them in a way that's going to be helpful? What if I don't get what I want after I'm being assertive? What if the person still continues and does what they're going to do, even when I've exerted my power? All those questions are important. And here's the deal. You've got to let go of the need to get it right, and let go of the need to see this specific outcome in the perfect way you think it should come. Because assertiveness is a skill, and it's something that we cultivate on a daily basis, and I want to show you how to integrate some of this work at the end of this video, so do stay tuned. So the key skills when it comes to assertiveness is listening, being specific, and having an outcome. And so this framework that I'm going to show you in 1 second is going to help you to really understand how to do that. So when it comes to us articulating what we need from others, it's so important that we state what the problem is. And when we state what the problem is, we're stating it from a place of empowerment. Like, you make me feel that it's not empowering. Or as if you state what the problem is, like, when you don't show up on time, I feel. And the subtle shift makes the other person feel like you're not having a go at them, you're not trying to box them into a corner, because that means that they're going to be defensive. And a defensive person doesn't listen. A defensive person puts all their walls up and shuts you down. A defensive person isn't able to have an intelligent, emotionally intelligent conversation with you. So we want to make sure that we are cultivating the environment so that you can have a conversation that's going to be progressive. A conversation that goes forward rather than stays where it is or goes backwards. So the problem, stating the problem, taking ownership of how you feel and stating your feelings. And sometimes I know a neurodiverse person who is dyslexic and autistic. It's very hard for me to know what I'm feeling sometimes. So I like to look up emotional words that have emotions, words that help me to identify what the emotion is. When I can identify what the emotion is I'm feeling, I can then from that place understand what I'm feeling. If I don't understand why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, when I then go and speak to that person and assert my assertiveness, it won't be satisfying to me because the outcome won't align to what I really need. So this is going to be an acronym, so stay tuned because I've got you. I'm going to give you these easy ways to use assertiveness in a way that's going to help you to remember and recall information, especially if you have processing issues like myself when it comes to dyslexia and dyspraxia. It can be sometimes hard to get the information out of your brain when you need it. So this is a great mnemonic device to help you remember. So A, how it affects me. Now, affects me as in like changes my state. It stops me from functioning and being the best version of myself. Affects me as in I don't show up and I'm being prevented from taking the next step forward. I'm being prevented from maybe doing my best work. I'm being prevented from really being true to who I am. And so it's really important that you say this in a way that's going to be helpful to the conversation. So again, we start with the problem. This is the problem. When you show up late, for example, I feel that you don't respect my time. This affects me because I feel like I'm pouring into you, or pouring into this collaboration, and it's going into maybe this bucket with holes. And it means that the time I could spend doing something else is often being taken away for this project. And so I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So you just basically state how it affects you, how it manifests and really changes your state, but also perhaps dishonors your time. And so it's important that you recognize that. So this is why before you go and just with people have the conversation, you get it very clear in your mind, so you've got clarity, so you can come to the conversation with confidence, and so that it's just easier for you to really get the outcome you need. So that's why the confidence, the clarity, control element is something you probably do by yourself, and you learn to not necessarily always regurgitate and react to the situation, but you sometimes process. Because sometimes for me, I could process something. I used to process things and it used to take me weeks on end because I wouldn't sit in the feeling. I would avoid the feeling because I wasn't know how to feel it. And so that's how my neurodiversity manifested for me. So that's why the solution element, which is the next step, is really important. So this is the problem, this is how it affects me, this is the solution. The solution is, if you're not going to be available, so again, this is all about time, right? If you're not going to be available, then you just let me know. Respond to my messages. Give me 24 hours notice. You give them scenarios, things that are going to work for you, that helps you to manage your space, manage your time, manage your energy. So give them a solution that is focused and is a win-win. And, you know, they might not be seen as a win-win right now. So you say the payoff, which is T. The payoff is, if you do that, then if you do, you know, if we decide to adhere to perhaps just being very clear of our time and our energy, then I won't get frustrated and you'll be able to do work that, you know, also honors your timeline, and we'll be able to hit milestones quicker as well. So the reason why we talk about the payoff is because people normally don't change their behavior until they know there's something in it for them. And it might sound like a quite cynical way of looking at things, but the reality is that's what happens sometimes. And so the payoff doesn't have to be this massive big thing. It can be a small thing, just so that they realize that this isn't just going to help you. This is a win-win. Win-win. So let's just run through that real quick. So if you haven't guessed it, it spells past. And the past basically helps us to stay present in the moment and help us to move forward so that our future can be much more bright and sunny. So problem, how it affects me. So problem affects solution, the payoff. Problem affects the solution, chaos. So yes, it can sound like it's a lot, but if you think of it this way, you close your eyes just for a second and you imagine that your past has no relevancy here. But the only relevancy it has is to bring you solutions for today. And the solutions for today will be helped using this assertive technique. Assertiveness technique. Let's get correct. So now you know exactly why you need assertiveness. Why the framework will help you as well move forward. And now, how do you integrate this in the everyday, knowing that the past framework is there? How do you remember this? So, like any skill, it's a daily thing. You start small. You start with your trusted inner circle. I've got best friends. I say best friend who really honors and has a container for me to have a space available. So what I tend to do is I start with that inner trusted circle, that best friend, then I go into colleagues, then I go into peers, and then I go into outer circles. Sometimes I literally do little things like maybe, I guess, postmen and postwomen, in terms of, maybe not so hard on the door because it freaks me out. I get shook by noises. Part of my, I don't explain why, but I just say because like the word, like if somebody asks me like to do something, I just said no. That's a complete sentence. So the point of this is you can start small steps of assertiveness. You don't have to use the past framework for little things where you think that you just need to just exert your assertiveness skills, to listen, because it is about listening as well, because sometimes people have genuine needs and they're unmet and they can get frustrated if they're not met. So it's also really good to listen. But the point really is about honoring where you're at and what you need. So use the past framework, practice these skills on a daily basis, and please schedule it into your calendar to say this because it's a muscle, right? So with the courses I do and are paid for, the best, most effective ones are the ones where I've been able to integrate them little by little every day. Not this big, massive course I've got to change my whole world in one day. It's kind of like these little things every day for at least 7 weeks helps me to move forward. So if assertiveness is one of those things, then you can schedule it into your calendar and you can practice an assertiveness technique. You can practice saying no more often. You can practice the past technique with maybe a colleague. You can actually write down a list of all the things that absolutely frustrate you right now when it comes to certain people, and you can start to look at how you can use the past framework to really move forward. So if this has helped you in any way, shape or form, don't forget to subscribe, like, thumbs this up, and let me know what you're going to be using the past technique on, what's the biggest bugbear that you have, and then I'll be great to go into the comments and just respond to you and see if I can help you with how you can use the framework. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.